Let's get into it. Let's get into today's topic. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Motivational Mondays. I am your host, Brandon Cole. Listen, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate you. All right, so we're going to get into today's topic, and this actually comes from a message that I got on Instagram. And it says, Brandon, I've been doing photography for 3 years now, and I definitely want to branch off into other areas of photography. However, I was told that it's better to just stick with one area than to branch off into other areas. Do you think I should start to learn other styles or just stick with what I know? Well, this is a loaded question because a lot of people have different opinions about this. All right. So if you are a photographer out there and you are listening to me, this is my opinion. All right. If you want your opinion, go to your channel and say what you want to say. All right. But this is my channel and I'm going to give you my professional opinion on what I think about a subject like this. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys too long, so we're going to get right into it. Should you branch off into other areas of photography or should you stick with what you know? My question, easy, hands down. Absolutely. You need to branch off. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. There are a lot of one trick wonder photographers out there. I'm going to just say it. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of photographers out there who only know how to do one style and who haven't really reached in depth in other styles of photography. Let's give an example. If you are a natural light photographer, all right, a lot of natural light photographers don't know the ins and outs of shooting with flash. All right. There's a lot about shooting with flash. It's about, the equipment that you use. What flash do you use? What softbox do you use? How you use soft light versus hard light? Do you shoot in the morning, daytime? How do you adjust your settings with your camera to equal what your flash is putting out? What is the science behind it and how do you do it? Again, if you're a natural light photographer and you're trying to branch off into other areas, should you learn other things than natural light? Absolutely. If you're a flash photographer and you're not really that good at natural light, you don't know about, finding the easiest available light to light your subject in a lot of different things, then you should get into that. With those two foundations that are laid, should you go into things like wedding photography? Should you do newborn, maternity, events, graduations, landscape? There's such photography is such a big umbrella, and there's so many subjects and categories under photography that you could learn. But at the end of the day, when you do learn those other areas, when you do jump into those other areas and start to know what lenses and what lights and how to do those type of things, that does nothing but put more money in your pocket at the end of the day. When I started off in photography, normally when anybody starts off, we start off as natural light photographers. That's how it is. We're trying to learn photography. We don't know too much about flash, but that's what we're doing. We're learning about lighting and things. And then as you go on, you start to see images, where the subject is the focus and she's lit, but the background looks a little bit dramatic and people are using color and we're using LED lights and we're using flash and we're using, color gels, and there's so much to it. And you be like, I want my images to look like that. Well, you got to learn. You got to go into those other areas. However, there is a learning curve and there are things to be learned. So should you go into those other areas? Absolutely. Like I said, it's nothing but more money in your pocket. The more you know about photography, the more money you will make, the more you can be competitive, the more your work can compete with other people, either in your geographical location or in the industry, depending on where you want to see your work. I highly recommend you branch out to other areas of photography, but at the same time, it's really important to learn and to not necessarily master, because you never master something. You just learn different ways and you continue to add on. But when you actually learn one area and you start to understand it and you get proficient at it, then absolutely start, being like a second shooter on somebody's wedding. Learn some wedding photography. Everything is different and it moves at such a quick pace. Every level and every aspect of photography has its ups and it has its downs. All right. And it's really, really great because it doesn't do nothing but make you more competitive. All right. You learn more than one way to shoot. All right. And you learn how to shoot in different areas, whether you shoot in the daytime, whether you shoot at nighttime, golden hour, shooting when it's cloudy, shooting in a studio, learning to use color gels or spotlights or different type of modifiers. So many areas of photography that is worth notating, but you definitely need to understand your basics of photography, learn and master whatever you want to be first. So if you want to be a portrait photographer, you need to learn portrait photography first, working with either models or however you want to do it, learning to capture that actual portraiture. Once you feel confident and once your work is speaking for you, once you hit that area that that you can gain, either the following or the fan base or the clientele to show your work off and compete against other ones, then it's great to start jumping into other areas of photography and learning those other areas so you can make more money. I never wanted to be the type of photographer where somebody would call me and say, "Hey, you do photography, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I take portraits stuff, but can you also do weddings, or can you do a maternity shoot, or can you do a newborn shoot, or do you mind can you do an event photography?" All of these areas of photography are different. They all take different skills. They all require different cameras, different lenses. But I would never know that if I wouldn't have mastered one and started branching off into the other areas. Now I can do all of them. And then on top of that, doing video shoots. I mean, there's so much, but I just wanted to expand my knowledge of what it is and what it really means to be a photographer to you. And that's my question for you today. What does it really mean to be a photographer? What does it mean to have more than one trick to you? Are you one that's stuck in your ways and you're okay with where you are in photography, just doing what you're doing and, probably even pretty good at what you're doing? But what does it actually mean to be a photographer? What does it mean to branch off into other areas? Do you want to be one of those photographers that people just call you for that one thing, or do you want to be the one that everybody calls you for everything because you are that dude? You are him. You are him or her. And your work speaks for it. All right. So you just have to kind of decide which kind of person you want to be. I know which one I want to be. I'm him. I want you to be able to call me for anything that you require or desire, no matter if it's in the studio, headshots. It don't matter whether it's outside, any time of day or night. It don't matter. I will kill it. So I challenge you today. Go out and get it. Develop the mentality to go out and get it. Learn other areas of photography. I highly recommend it because at the end of the day, guess what? It does nothing but put money in your pocket. That is for Motivational Monday. I am your host, Brandon Cole, aka the Kevin Hart of photography, and I will see you dogs in the next video coming up. You don't want to miss it, man, because this video is going to be dope. We're going natural light versus flash. Y'all ready for this one? Man, this is like an old video, but I guess we're going to keep doing it because people still want to know the difference and why we choose flash over natural light. And it's not really complicated. It's pretty easy. Whatever.